So I was going to say congratulations as a start, but we'll finish out that way as well. Um, Bailey, Brandon, we've had such a journey on our way here together. I remember when I first met you, Bailey, I did not like you. You wouldn't let me play the lemonade stand game on the computer. We were worst enemies. For those who haven't heard that story, schools came together and the second graders met before we went to a big school of third graders, and they tried to pair us up with our soon-to-be friends. However, both of us were very bossy, and both of us were, this is my lemonade stand game. Uh, Bailey and I were paired up, and we did not make friends as they had anticipated. When we moved to fourth grade, we shared some mutual friends and interests, but those interests, again, did not include each other. Cut to the end of eighth grade, I decided to captain a Relay for Life team, which Bailey decided to join. Third time was the charm. While everyone else gave up walking in the night, Bailey and I continued walking all throughout the night with each other's company and conversation for the entirety. We never stopped walking from sunset to sunrise, and thus began our friendship. That summer marked a beginning for many stories of poop soup, mixed up ice cream, shed camping, and our other inseparable adventures. Throughout our arrival to this moment, through our shared experiences and discussions, I knew you would never settle for anything less than the best match for you. I also knew no one who wasn't strong enough as a person would be able to keep you by their side. When you met Brandon and told me he was the male version of me, I knew you found a suitable fit. I think the two of you complement each other perfectly. Brandon, you've been so supportive throughout the time that I've known you. Good or questionable, you have consistently showed up for her in any way that she's needed. You challenge her appropriately and humor her the same. For as long as Bailey and I have been friends, my role has been to balance her accordingly. If she was fiery, I was calm. If she was rash, I was calculated. If she wanted to go bridge jumping or to a horror movie, I said absolutely frickin' not. And she would find someone else to go do it with anyways. Claire. I'm so thankful for the two of you finding each other because Bailey now has one person who's willing to do all of those things for her. I have loved watching the two of you learn and grow together in the beautiful adult partners that you are now. You truly complement each other so well, and I'm elated you found your perfect match. And I can't wait to see how your love, your memories, and bonds continue to grow for the rest of your lives. To Mr. and Mrs. Wood.
Oh, it's my turn. Is it already? All right. Sounds like my mom made it here all right. Thanks, Mom. Oh. Oh boy. Okay. Uh, Hello, everyone. So let's see. Tacos, gummy worms. This is actually my grocery list. Apologies. Nah, I'm just kidding. And for those of you that were like, he looks like a taco and gummy worm kind of guy, it's kind of mean. Let's keep it constructive today, okay? So as it was mentioned, my name is Jake. I'm Brandon's best man and best friend. And first off, I wanted to thank everyone for coming out and supporting and help celebrate the union of two people that I love and care about very much. It means a lot. And an extra special thank you to everyone that could help make this day possible for you guys. Bailey, you know I love you. I'm so happy for you. And I love how happy you make him. And I could talk about you for days, but I feel like today, as best man, part of my duty is to publicly talk this guy up for a little bit. So here we go. Though I will say that Bailey and I do have a few things in common, especially today. Number one, we both look fantastic. I mean, number two, we both love this guy. And number three, we're both wearing underwear that says Property of Brandon on the back. In my defense, I've never been a best man before, so I didn't know what the protocol was. I just wanted to make sure all the bases were covered. I got you. Also, not trying to upstage the bride on her big day, but I did bedazzle mine a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Right, yeah. So anyways, Brandon and I met at Concordia University, where we were roommates. And to start out, we weren't 100% sure how that was going to go. I remember I moved in the Friday before classes started, and the whole weekend went by, and I had that tiny dorm room to myself, and I was like, oh, maybe I will ride this semester out solo. I was wrong. It was Sunday. What time was it, Brandon? It was about 1 in the morning. It was late. Yeah. I'm in bed, and I hear a knock on the door, and Brandon popped his head in and said, hey, bud, do you mind if I move in? I had class at 7 in the morning, but I couldn't really say no. So that was how we first met. And for about the first week or 10 days, I transferred to Concordia from right over here, UW Oshkosh, a little bit of a party school. Concordia was not at all. Well, I mean, we made it, but even if you were over 21, they kind of frowned upon that thing. And little did I know that Brandon was a little bit of a party guy himself. And I don't know who said it first, but I remember at one point we were like, do you party? Yes, you? Yes. Oh, all right, thank God we can have some dialogue. All right, cool. I thought I was cool sneaking in a couple beers, and he pulls out a duffel bag full of like different booze bottles like he was a bootlegger or something like that. That was pretty awesome. But after that, every day we grew closer and closer. Found out that we had, tons of stuff in common. Found out that he was from Wild Rose. My family has a place right off of Long Lake, just outside of Wild Rose. And kind of funny that we had to meet down in Milwaukee, but that's how things go sometimes. But yeah, as time went on, and like before you knew it, we were brothers. And he's just one of the best, most fun, outgoing, and loyal people that I know, and I'm honored to call him my best friend. But yeah, so since then, we had a lot of fun adventures, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of Brandon doing the worm on dirty floors, some really dirty floors too, but a lot of memories too. And I want to take this time in front of family and friends to thank you too. Not just for being an awesome, amazing friend, but also because without you, I wouldn't have met any of these wonderful people that I'm honored and proud to call my friends and family. Without you, I wouldn't have met my beautiful fiancée, Sarah, over yonder. And I know she looks great, folks. But no, life would have been very, very different. So I want to thank you. Back to memories, I remember the first time that we met Bailey. Well, maybe you may have met her before, but it was the first time we all hung out. And Bailey and I got along right away. I was drinking Heineken, and she came over and asked if she could have one because she knows what good beer tastes like. And shortly after, they were talking, and looked like it was going pretty well. So I, did my thing, left them alone. Brandon came and tracked me down. And he's like, "Hey, bud, do you have any gum?" I did not. I did you one better though. I had those little pocket Listerine. Yeah, that's right. I got you. Although before I could tell him that like 1 or maybe 2 spritz will do you, he like pumped like 4, and he's like, I'm like, yeah. Yep, it'll be good. But yeah, you were fresh. But I remember, it's like, it seems like things are going good. And you were like, yeah, I think we're really like hitting it off. And I just remember he looked so like excited, like kind of like that anxious excited too. And I hadn't seen him like that before. And that's how I knew it was going to be something special. And I was just really happy about it. And before you know it, they're together, and, Bailey's part of the group. And then she brought more people in, and the family kept on growing, and it was absolutely fantastic. But I want you to know that I'm so happy that you're happy. I'm so happy that you guys are happy. I'm so happy that you found someone as awesome as you. Bailey, love you, you rock. And I wish you guys nothing but the best, really. And I look forward to being alongside you for that journey. So, in honor of my bro on his big day, I'd like to serenade you all with a song. Nobody wants to hear that. No. I'd like to wrap this up with, I would say, probably his favorite go-to toast. So, guys, once you hear me start it, you know it, yep. There's big ships, there's small ships, there's ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and that'll always be. To Brandon and Bailey.
All right, everybody. I'm probably not as good as these guys at giving speeches, but I'll let it go here. Today is 12/7/2024. Brandon, you probably should never forget that date. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jay Johnson. I'm Bailey's father and Brandon's new father-in-law. On behalf of myself, my wife, Brandon's parents, Dawn and Tim Wood, we'd like to thank everyone for coming and supporting Bailey and Brandon on their new journey together. I would also like to thank Peter Herman for presiding over the ceremony today. Did a fabulous job. I would like to thank everyone from the Shores for the food. It was good. Also, I would like to thank the staff here at Venue 404. They're doing an excellent job. And we'd also like to thank all the ladies that were upstairs this morning doing the hair and makeup. I'm sure it wasn't very easy. Thanks, Sherry, Sydney. So, anyways, Bailey, as this day approached, I had to give this speech. I couldn't help to think back when you were younger, and you would always say that you would never get married. And you also used to like to dress up as a princess. Well, here we are today. You're getting married, and you're dressed up as a princess. And let me tell you, what a beautiful princess you are. So, as a father, you always want the best for your daughter. But when it comes to guys, you can't really pick them, so you hope your daughter picks a good guy. Let's see here. So over time, you get to see what kind of a person these guys are. That brings me to a story that makes me think Bailey chose the right one. Bailey had a cat. It's kind of a sad story, so bear with me. Bailey had a cat for most of her life. Her name was Shadow. It's okay. Anyways, Shadow and Bailey spent every day and every night together throughout Bailey's life. I think Shadow and Bailey were together for about 17 years. Thank you. Well, then came the time when Shadow fell ill. And Bailey and Brandon were doing everything they can to make sure Shadow lived. Bailey left for work one day, and Brandon was downstairs. And sorry, Brandon, if I'm going to embarrass you, but Brandon was downstairs, and he came running up the stairs and said, "Hey, I think Shadow passed away." And I'm like, "What?" And he took off running back down the stairs, so I followed him. And when I went down into the room, Brandon was on the bed by Shadow. And he had his hands cupped over Shadow's mouth. And he was breathing into Shadow. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I can't let this cat pass away when Bailey's not here." She would be heartbroken. He goes, "So I need to do whatever I can to make sure Shadow lives." Well, Bailey was home within a half hour after this happened, and unfortunately, Shadow passed away. But at that time, I thought about it. I'm thinking, what other guy would do that for a girl? I mean, at that point, I knew Bailey chose the right guy. So I told you it's a tough one. I pre-read this to Ryder this morning and started crying. So Brandon, welcome to the family. Honestly, I can't wait till we go ice fishing this winter together with Ryder. Thank you. I would also like to end this with a couple words of advice. Continue being best friends. I heard that in Peter's sermon today over and over. It'll help. It'll help you guys communicate on a daily basis, good or bad. Let each other know how you feel. The more you communicate, the easier things are. So please, stand with me, raise your glass, and let's give the happy couple a toast. For the past 28 years and today, no. For the past 28 years and today, Bailey's been the light of my life. And today, her mom and I get to hand her over to Brandon. So, I know you'll love and cherish her with every bit as much as we did. So a toast to the happy and healthy life, full of lots of love and laughter. Thank you.
I have a voice. Yes. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. We really appreciate everyone who showed up. And we really appreciate our parents who did so much. My mom and dad, thank you for everything. Like, I really appreciate everything you've done. And Dawn and Tim, honestly, this wedding couldn't have been as amazing as it is without you guys. I also like to thank the venue staff because they have been beyond amazing and accommodating to us. And I love to thank our beautiful photographer. She has killed every picture we have taken for the last year. And I also like to thank our catering team because they really did a phenomenal job. And thank you everyone for showing up tonight. And let's get ready to party tonight.